And good morning. All right, we're ready to get this English chapter wrapped up. So we're going to work on the last lesson of this chapter. And then you probably won't have another video this week. Or after this, you'll just have your chapter review. And this was a really kind of a simple chapter, so I don't feel like I'm going to need to go over the chapter review with you. But so you'll have a chapter review, then you'll take the test, and then you'll have a cumulative review. So anyway, so I'm just going to help you a little bit with this last lesson, and then the rest of it I'll let you do throughout the week. And if you have trouble, to let me know. Okay, so let's go ahead and look in our English book on page 133 and 134. Today we're talking about taking notes. Now, what are some times that you might need to take notes? In school? What about in church? In church, it's always good to take notes. I always try to take notes if I can, but I usually have little kids around me and they want my pen so they can write. So anyway, but taking notes is a good time. What if you've gone to maybe some kind of a financial seminar and he's teaching you things about your finances? You might want to take notes. And it's always good to write on your notes where that note came from. Did it come from your pastor? Did it come from the man that was teaching the sermon or teaching the class? Or was it something you read out of a book or a magazine and you jotted it down? So let's look at the top of page 133 and then I'll tell you why this is on the screen. So here are some note-taking guidelines. First of all, summarize the main ideas by stating them in your own words. You never want to copy sentences. Now, this is talking about if you're taking notes on a piece of paper, like, from a book that you're reading or from a magazine or something. You never want to copy exactly what it is because that's called plagiarism and it's actually a crime. You always want to kind of read it and then just put it in your own words. And that also kind of helps your brain learn how to understand the things that you read. Then the second thing, it says to write keywords to help you remember that information. Don't write complete sentences. That takes too long. It's too hard. Just jot down keywords to help you remember. 3, carefully record the sources that you use. Give credit to where this information comes from. Otherwise, somebody might think, "Ooh, wow, you're smart. You came up with that all by yourself." And that is not good because that means you stole from the person that did come up with that. Number 4, it says use quotation marks when you write the exact words of the author. So if it's something that you just cannot put in your own words, it's just perfect the way they put it, then you can write it exactly as they stated it, but you'll have to show that it's not your words by putting quotation marks around it, showing that someone else said it. The 5th thing says take notes for only one main idea on each card. So if you have a little here pretty soon in the next few months maybe, you might do a research paper. Well, every time you'll have those little index cards, and every time you put a note down, you'll put one piece of information on one note card. The last thing is to make sure you write the book's title and the page number at the bottom of that note card. Okay, so like if you're using an encyclopedia, and you might say, what in the world is an encyclopedia? Well, I have a full set of them, but an encyclopedia was the Google before the Google. That's what my generation had to use when we had questions. We didn't have Google or Alexa to answer our questions for us. We had to look up things in an encyclopedia. Okay, so this on the screen is a picture of the mountains of Peru, because there's a picture of Peru there on page 133. Now, Peru is a country on what continent? Do you know? Did you say South America? Okay, so you see the picture of Peru on your page. Okay, you see the green box beside it. Now, this is a little entry from an encyclopedia page that talks about Peru. Peru's history is rich with a variety of musical traditions. Okay, right there, that's the topic sentence, and that tells us that this little piece of information is going to be talking about Peru's history of music. Archaeologists have found drums, flutes, trumpets, and other musical artifacts in ancient tombs. The conquest by the Spanish and the arrival of missionaries affected the musical styles of Peru, making it a blending of cultures. Traditional Peruvian music includes drums, rattles, flutes, and small harps. Modern music also includes stringed instruments like guitars, harps, violins, and mandolins, as well as oboes and various kinds of flutes. Many religious ceremonies include both traditional and modern music. Okay, so we know that the topic of that is music in Peru. So do you see the little note card beside there? And you see what they put at the top? They put the main idea of what they looked up, music in Peru. Now I want you to notice number 1, number 2, and number 3. Look how they took notes. 1, traditional music, drums, rattles, flutes, and harps. No complete sentences, they just put key words. The second note they took was modern music, guitars, violins, oboes, flutes. And then the third thing they wrote down was religious ceremonies, modern and traditional music. So they just took some notes. They just took some words out of there and jotted them down, not in complete sentences. Look what's at the bottom of the card. It's the name of the book, the volume, and the page where they found that information. So they're saying, look, I didn't find this. I didn't make this up on my own. I found it in this book. They're giving credit to where the credit goes. Okay, so let's look then at page 134 because this is what you're going to do. Now, the blue box is a country called Suriname. It too is in South America. And then the one in the purple box is Argentina, and it is a country in South America. Okay, so they've written on the top of each card, they've written the main idea of what you're going to be writing about. So the first one is facts about Suriname. You're going to read that box about Suriname, and you're going to jot down 3 or 4 points that you find in there, 3 or 4 details. And remember, not complete sentences, just some key words, little phrases. Okay? At the bottom of your note card, you're going to have to put the exact name of the book, volume, and page number where it came from. And it tells you up in where the instructions are. Read the following encyclopedia article taken from page 312 of the Travel Encyclopedia, volume 17. Okay, so you're going to put that at the bottom. Now, the Travel Encyclopedia is the name of the book, so the names of books have to be underlined. Okay, so you'll do it exactly as they did it on page 133. Now, the reason page 133 and the reason they didn't underline Encyclopedia of the World is because they typed it. And when you type it, you don't have to underline it. You can put it in italics. But since you're handwriting it, you will underline the name of the book. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing for Argentina. I'm not going to grade this page, but I do want to see what kind of notes that you take on this, okay? If you need any help or you need some more guidance on it, make sure and send me a note, and I can send you another quick video to help you through it, okay? But I'd like to see what you can take of it yourself. Okay? All right. That'll be all for today.